Hello and welcome to another tip video here from Zenatta Consulting. My name is Tyler Koltz, and in this video, we're going to be covering the knowledge base or help center settings here within Zoho Desk. Kind of cover everything here from access to email templates to even doing some of the design on the look and feel. So we really do hope that you find this video useful. Please be sure to like and subscribe down below if you do, as that really does help us out. And without any further ado, let us jump on into the walkthrough. So right out of the gate here, I am in the settings tab. So under the little cogwheel in the top right, and where we're going to go for this is actually going to be over to the help center. Now this gets a little tricky because, a lot of the times you'll think to go to the knowledge base to do these types of things, but the knowledge base is really just part of the help center, right? So the help center is both a place where, logged in users can see articles, but they can also see their tickets and they can submit new tickets, right? So it kind of has multiple functionalities to it. So here within the settings, if we jump into the Help Center, down the left-hand side, we'll see all the various submenus here that are available for customizing the Help Center. We're not going to go into, total detail in each and every one of those. A lot of them aren't going to be relevant for like your version 1 here as you're looking to stand this up. But we'll go through some of the most important ones. Here under rebrand, this is kind of quick stuff, right? This is if you want to add your logo or, the little icon in the browser tab. You can also change the name of this. So if I wanted to make it Zenatta Demo Help Center, I can go ahead and do that. And this portal name is essentially going to change the URL itself. I'm not going to change that right now, but if you do ever need to change that, you surely can. It will affect this URL, so make sure that you set up your redirects differently on the website or anywhere that you are pointing people to the Help Center. Moving down the left-hand side under access controls or access settings here, this is essentially how we're going to control who can get into the Help Center. So a big one here is customers can sign up, right? So if this is turned off like it is right now, then they'll actually have to be invited specifically by you to get into the Help Center. They won't be able to just go on and sign up themselves. We can also set it up that they can or cannot view tickets from other users in their account. Honestly, a lot of the times you're going to want this on, right? Like if you have 5 different customers at the same company, some of their tickets might be relevant to one another. So you can surely allow them access. Going down the page, requiring that people register, right? Rather than just like be able to see things without logging in, only allowing them to submit tickets when they're logged in, and so on and so forth. Again, each of these is kind of up to you. There isn't like a right or wrong here, but at the end of the day, well worth going through each of these permissions and determining which ones are applicable for you. Now, a really big option here that's kind of hidden in this access settings is the auto invite, right? So what this is essentially saying, when a customer submits a ticket, do we want to automatically invite them to the Help Center so that they can see those tickets, see the knowledge base, right? And work on everything within that environment. A lot of the times you're going to want this on, right? If you're going to spend time and build out the Help Center, it's well worth sending this invite, right? It might encourage somebody to log in and look at an article in the future rather than submitting a new ticket, especially if you have those things defined well in that Help Center. Moving down the left-hand side, languages, of course, we're able to set up a default language and determine if we need more than one language that should be supported for the Help Center. We're going to skip customization and come back to it. We'll kind of go through the rest of these relatively quickly. User authentication, this is just for certain types of sign-ons. If you want to do SAML sign-on encryption, you can surely do that here. Federated login, this is going to be like for a single sign-on, right? So if you want to allow people to just use like a Microsoft or a Google sign-on to access the Help Center, you can enable that here. SEO is kind of a big one. So within this Help Center, you can actually end up with quite a lot of great information that you've written in articles and that might actually do well for indexing in good SEO so that you show up in searches related to these topics. So again, this is a demo account, so I don't have a lot of meta tags in here, but it's well worth going through and setting these up. You'd be surprised how many people might find you for the first time through your Help Center, right? When they're looking up a question related to something else, and there you are, you show up and could lead to something down the line. Email templates is another important one. So you have full ability to customize and rebrand the email templates that go out related to the Help Center, right? So these could be emails from inviting them, activating them or deactivating them within the portal. And each one of these has its own template that can be completely customized based on your branding and your requirements and the language that you'd like to include when these emails go out. Now, the next 3 tabs are everything to do with users. So under this master users list, you'll just see everybody who has access to the Help Center. You can also invite them here if you'd like. You can also do this from within the customer record as well. Under user labels, these are essentially things that you can do to categorize the users. This is just type, right? So maybe you have different industries, right, that you want to have, and you want to be able to categorize them. So maybe we'll have like an automotive industry, right? And we can set those up with either a, basic kind of design here on what we want that tag to look like. And then jumping back in, right, we're able to then assign any of our users to that tag so that we have the ability to categorize them just a little bit easier into groups. Now, groups are going to be essentially kind of master buckets of different types of people. If we go ahead and add a group, so we'll say maybe an automotive group, because I'm not very creative. Go ahead and save that. So again, now users can be added to that group based on, the type. Maybe you know this about them from their account in CRM, and you can keep them all categorized here nice and clean. Now, next here, Google Authentication. This is if you wanted Google Analytics on the Help Center, so you can see who's accessing and what they're interacting with. Sales IQ will be essentially that same thing. So if we want to actually have a chat widget within the Help Center, we can activate that here. And last but not least, PageSense will give us the ability, similar to Google Analytics, right? If you've played with PageSense, this will give you that like on-page tracking. How are they scrolling? What are they clicking on? Which pages are being accessed regularly so that you can understand how people are interacting with your knowledge base. Last but not least, I did promise we would get back to it, is Help Center customization. So this is actually where we're going to get into the look and feel of the Help Center. If I go ahead, I'll open it up with this theme that we have right now, where it's kind of got this stock image of happy people looking at computer. It's a classic. Can't go wrong with that. But if I go back, maybe I choose this materialize instead. Now you'll see looks just a little bit different, right? Now we have still a happy person, but now they're looking at an iPad. But so we can go through here and essentially determine if I kind of click on the top right, we can skip through each of these and take a look, right? And start determining which one of these might be the best for you for customizing your Help Center. So I'm going to save on this one here, which has now applied that theme. And we'll go through some of these options on the left. Under the Appearance tab, this is going to be everything from colors, fonts, right? Things of that nature. So here we're looking at default, but of course we've got some different font options that we can use. I do not like the way Georgia looks. Let's go with Helvetica. That never does you wrong.
Oh, hey Helvetica. Hey party people.
Here as well, as we go down the page, we can set up different colors that we'd like to have, different background images. So maybe you want to get rid of this, little board diagram they have up at the top and swap it for your own logo or image. Totally fair game to do that here through the left-hand side under Appearance. Again, I won't belabor each and every one of these, but here is where you can go to actually make any of those changes. So if we come in and I select one of these, I can drag it around. That looks real bad. Maybe I want to make it black, so I go all the way to the bottom right. Or you can just put in your hex codes, right? So if you have particular branding colors, that's always going to be the best way to add them to the Help Center, is just going to be by setting them up as a hex code. Now, I will also highlight, within the Help Center, you do have the ability to customize and edit HTML and actually add CSS if you would like. We're not going to go too far into detail for this walkthrough here, but it does have some flexibility. Now, I do want to highlight, it's not like a fully dynamic HTML environment. So if you're coming from something like Zendesk, it'll be slightly less customizable than that, but you can surely make a lot of changes here to the look and feel actually just in that HTML or CSS editor. Now across the top, a couple other options here. Under tabs, we can actually show and hide different objects within here. So if we look at the Help Center, home is going to be your kind of master place to go. My area is where you'll log in and be able to see and submit your tickets. And then the knowledge base is going to be the knowledge base, right? So any of the categories and articles that you have hosted are all going to be available here. But, we can go ahead and remove things. So maybe I don't want my area. For example, maybe you say, you know what, like we don't really want people to submit their tickets through here. I can always turn that off. Or I can rename it so my area is very vague. Maybe we want to say like tickets, right? That might make a little bit more sense because that's what people are going to think about when they log in here. Last but least here, we can actually go ahead and set the ticket form as a default page. This can be nice if you find that people are struggling to find it. I will say that really like my preference in using these is actually to set the knowledge base as the default instead. The reason for that is that if somebody is logging into the help center, it's very possible that you'll actually have an article that solves their problem, right? And they might not even need to submit a ticket. But when people log in, if the first thing they see is that add a ticket form, then this is what they're going to do, right? They're not going to go to the help center or the knowledge base. They're just going to submit that ticket. So again, a lot of this comes down to preference, but I really do prefer using that knowledge base as the default, just because we really do want to encourage people to interact with the content that we've made, because it very likely solves, or at least partially solves, the issue that they're having. Last but not least, we can go ahead and publish these changes, and just like that, it is now updated. So again, not the level of flexibility that you'll see with some help center tools, but you definitely do have that ability to come in here, make those types of updates and changes, and get them published easily to your help center. So now, a good habit whenever we make changes to something that the customers are going to see, let's actually look at it, right? So here's that full URL. We can open that up. We can see that everything is looking good. It's asking us for that sign in as we would expect. I can also just add a ticket without signing in, right? If I maybe don't have an account yet and the settings allow me to do so. But always just like to highlight this. Once you make any of these changes, log in, make sure you take a look at it live on the actual URL, just to make sure that everything looks proper and how you would like it. So with that, that will wrap up here our rapid fire round on the Help Center customization. Again, those core steps are going to be determine who should have access, what it should look like, and how people should be invited. From there, it's pretty much all downhill, right? It should be pretty easy to get going and set up for your business. We really do hope that this video is useful for you. If it was, please be sure to like and subscribe down below, as that really does help us out. And if it sparks any feedback, video requests, questions, be sure to leave those in the comment section below, as we do try to read through each and every one of those on a weekly basis. With that, we'll wrap up here for today. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.